In June of 1969, early in the morning at a Ford test facility with no grandstands and no cameras, a red, white, and blue Torino rolled onto the pavement and did something that made grown engineers go quiet. It blasted past 190 miles an hour, clean and stable, no drafting help, no race trim, no crowd to witness it. This car was never meant to see a green flag, not because it was slow or unfinished or unreliable, but because it scared the people who were supposed to approve it. Racing history loves winners and trophy photos, but it buries the machines that threaten the system itself. This is the real story of the Ford Torino King Cobra, the NASCAR car so fast and so politically dangerous that it was erased before it ever had the chance to race. By the late 1960s, NASCAR had stopped being just a sport and turned into a war, and Ford was losing badly. Chrysler had figured it out first. The 426 Hemi was brutal, reliable, and built to live at wide-open throttle. Richard Petty was stacking wins while Dodge Daytonas and Plymouth Superbirds used their pointed noses and towering wings to turn Daytona and Talladega into runways. Ford's Torino Talladega looked sleek, but looks didn't matter on Sunday afternoons when the Hemi just kept pulling harder and running longer. Inside Dearborn boardrooms, the message was blunt and uncomfortable: either beat Chrysler, or keep getting humiliated in front of America every single weekend. And Henry Ford II did not tolerate humiliation. Ford's response was quiet and ruthless. If Chrysler was building winged missiles, Ford would build something smarter, cleaner, and far more subtle. No press releases, no auto show reveals, just engineers and wind tunnels working toward one goal: build the fastest stock car NASCAR had ever seen. They called it the King Cobra, and it wasn't an update to the Torino, it was a mutation. The front end was reshaped into a short, blunt, shovel-like nose designed to force air up and over the car, killing lift and reducing drag. Headlights were recessed, the bumper tucked in tight, and every inch of the body existed for speed, not beauty. Under the hood sat the Boss 429, a barely street-legal racing engine with massive heads, huge breathing capability, and the ability to make over 600 horsepower in unrestricted form. At Daytona testing, the King Cobra was faster than Chrysler's winged cars without even trying, and drivers climbed out quiet, because they knew this thing wasn't just quicker, it was on another level. That speed created a problem no one wanted to talk about. If the King Cobra showed up on race day, it wouldn't trade wins or play politics, it would dominate, and domination is bad for business. NASCAR was already nervous about how fast cars were getting, Chrysler was already threatening to walk over rule changes, and Ford suddenly realized they were holding a weapon that could tear the sport apart. So the politics began, quietly and behind closed doors. NASCAR officials picked the King Cobra apart on paper, calling the nose too radical, the aerodynamics against the spirit of stock car racing, and the Boss 429 borderline experimental, even though Chrysler's wings had been allowed to run. Then came the quiet kill shot: if Ford wanted to race the King Cobra, they would have to build 500 street-legal versions. 500 cars with specialized bodywork, brutal drivetrains, and zero real consumer market. Ford ran the numbers, saw the losses, and made the call to walk away. The King Cobra never raced a single lap. The prototypes were crushed, cut up, and quietly erased, with only a handful surviving in private collections and forgotten warehouses. Engineers who worked on it still talk carefully, admitting that if it had raced, NASCAR would have rewritten the rulebook mid-season. Today, the King Cobra stands as one of the greatest what-ifs in racing history, a car with no wins, no trophies, and no statistics, only whispered test speeds and buried memos. It represents something we no longer allow in motorsport: unchecked engineering, raw ambition, and speed without compromise. NASCAR didn't stop the King Cobra because it was unsafe, they stopped it because it proved stock car racing was already about control and optics. The King Cobra wasn't too fast for Daytona, it was too fast for the system, and history isn't written by the fastest car, it's written by the ones that were allowed to live.